Welcome back to #Hired, real bite-sized success stories from real VertForce family members. I'm your host, Kimber Hill. My #Hired tip for you today is don't stop yourself from applying to a position if you don't have all of the required qualifications. Instead, learn from Navy veteran Bobby Cubellis. Bobby had only 3 out of the 5 requirements for a Salesforce role at Travelers Insurance. But guess what? He landed the role, and I'm gonna let you hear his story right now. Be sure to like and subscribe for more inspirational content just like Bobby. Employment is here to stay. I'm military spouse, VertForce founder, and your remote work expert, Kimber Hill. Subscribe now to learn how you too can thrive in the virtual workforce.
VertForce kind of broadened my horizons on what companies I was looking at, what companies sounded good. It gave me more perspective outside of my narrow scope I was originally searching. So I had started out right after high school joining the Navy. So I'm a Navy veteran. I did 6 years there. And then kind of passively in my own time, I had learned software development, basic stuff. And then I got my first remote job back in 2013 at United Health Group as a claims processor. When there, I kind of took some initiative and automated part of my job. And with that, they offered me a position as a software developer, kind of without any sort of formal education or anything like that, just getting my foot in the door at one of the big companies, showing some gumption, and then just went from there. It's really good at like these big companies, UHG for example. Basically everybody that started with me, we all entry-level claims processing, no experience, no degree required. Probably half my team is still there, and they have promoted their way up, and now they're way up in the pay grades, making a lot more money, a lot more responsibility. It's just getting your foot in the door and showing you're capable. I, started thinking about a career change and decided, I don't want to be just a straight software developer anymore. I want to be a little more involved. Less I get stuff and I develop it, more I help come up with the stuff and I help develop it. I am what's called a customer engagement project lead. And what that really means is I'm a Salesforce marketing cloud developer, and I help design kind of the code and logic behind those emails. The path I took in the software development world, I was more involved, more the social aspect of it. And then this role at Travelers, they were looking for somebody more that can code, but can also interact and help design, come up with requirements. So my unique combination of development experience along with basically project management experience made me a good fit for the role. So this is a tough one. It's hard to remember specifically, but I think one of the questions I most struggled with, just because it had not been one I had been asked before, how were you able to influence people in the past while not being in a position of authority? So kind of using your social skills to influence somebody's decision without having direct power over that person. It took a lot of introspection on that, but I realized after thinking about it for a while, it was one of those kind of, can I have a second to think about this questions? I realized, that's kind of what I did the whole time as a software engineer. So we get requirements, we get these things. Sometimes it wasn't possible to do, and you have to kind of softly influence the decision makers and get them to understand this without actually having any power to make them understand, we can't do this, or this is a better way, or things like that. Yeah, I think one of the important things to have on a resume, especially, with my background, is like hard numbers. So I can say I developed all this stuff, but actually having numbers behind it. So one of my lines on my resume is I was designing automation that we didn't cut jobs, but we reduced future hiring, and we measured how much we saved that way. So I was able to put, we saved $1.4 million over X amount of time, saying, my automation saved the company this much money. So it kind of shows not only did I do this, but these are the actual results of that action. So I think those are always important to have on the resume, and I try to slip those in there for every position I have, something hard like that. And then having diversity, so like soft skills, having technical skills, but you also want to highlight some of your soft skills. So I have worked with business stakeholders to gather new automation requirements. That's showing I worked with others. I have that personal skill, the social skill to actually, interact with others. I like, most importantly, my team. Working at Travelers so far, everybody I've interacted with has been great. My team's been great. I'm traveling to a conference in San Francisco next week, so I'm really excited about it. I'm going to do lots of fun stuff. I'm learning a lot, and that's one of my favorite things is learning. I came into this role without necessarily all the experience they wanted. So the idea was, I'm going to learn as I go. And that's been a lot of fun. I love learning, and there's so much to learn in this role.
A note for Bobby. Bobby, way to take initiative. I love that you learned software development on your own. Please stay in touch. We cannot wait to see what your next promotion is.